everybody, welcome back to the EU Open Division Season 3 Grand Finals, where we are going to be having Money Crew EU fighting it camp to get that top spot in the playoffs this season, rather. So we have just watched Operation Spawn Camp play against HSL Esport, and they did pretty fantastically, taking it 3-0. But earlier on today, we actually saw this matchup already. Shoes Money Crew beat out Operation Spawn Camp. So where do we think this can maybe go? There are so many different routes that this could take. This is a best of 7. Shoes Money Crew already have this waiting with one map to them. So the pressure is on for Operation Spawn Camp. Guys, what do we think?
I think you can honestly go either way here. I mean, there's a lot of different variables that can play into it. Operations, Spawn Camp, they haven't really faced, that wasn't a long match, let's put it that way. It was a 3-0 victory that they just previously came from. So I guess in a way, Shoes Money Crew, they might be a little bit more well rested, but you can't really put that into consideration because of how short the previous match was. But what we can assume is that from their previous matchup, when everybody was fresh on the battlefield, it was a 3-0 victory. But what didn't happen was the flexibility that we were shown by one player in particular in the previous match. I'm sure both of you can remember as well, was Lynx. And Lynx really came to life. It was almost like he felt the fire, the rage, the want for them Blizzbucks just to come out in true form. That McCree, the Doomfist, his Bastion even, like the team was firing off on all cylinders. And I think that if Operation Spawn Camp bring that heat to this match, Shoes Money Crew is going to get a run for their money.
Hey. We love fun tips.
Smooth.
We saw, as you say, this amazing flexibility coming out from Lynx, which really led the way for Operation Spawn Camp to have that ability to be flexible. But we also know, and as we have seen throughout playoffs, that Shoes Money Crew have proven that they do have this high individual skill. Who maybe on the Shoes Money Crew EU roster should we probably be looking out for, especially to respond to what Lynx brings to Operation Spawn Camp?
Jeez, that's a difficult one. Hey, I mean, they've got a lot of damn good players, and I think it's difficult to kind of single out any one of them. I know that they love to run a Sombra Doomfist, so we're definitely going to be looking out for those DPS players. We want to be watching for the tanks, making sure that they're making the right space, but to try and pinpoint one particular player, I think is a little bit difficult.
I'd probably end up going with Mouse, especially. Mouse himself, if the flexibility game is played out in their previous matchup on Anubis specifically, he got the flex over to that Sombra. We know him as a very prolific Tracer main in the past, and with this tracking, going into Sombra as well off of that Zarya is just a very good transition for him.
Well, we will be going straight into Lijiang Tower as our first map. Remember that Shoes Money Crew EU already have a map taken for themselves, so we'll be throwing it over to our casters, Blank and Joan, to take it away.
Muted. I'm muted again. Thanks, guys. Welcome to the grand final of the Open Division. 8 weeks ago, 8 or 9 or 10 weeks ago, a long time now. Everyone set out on their journey. They opened the door. And as we all know from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, every journey starts with a single step. And we have found ourselves now at the end of that journey. Shoes Money Crew taking on Operation Spawn Camp for the finals.
And in the same fashion, it ends with a fiery volcano. And both these teams are heated up here. 2 six-headed Hydras against each other. OSC just come against from their match, HSL. This was a pretty easy one for them. They took it 3-0, and HSL coming into playoffs, they were only undefeated teams, so we expect a little bit more from them. They played very, very well, but OSC just seemed to have the up on them, didn't they, John?
Yeah, it's just always seen that they had the read, had the premier switches coming out, and of course, star performance coming in from Lynx, as I think Nauri as well highlighted during that death segment.
Oh,
really, really strong. And like the Widowmaker, and we saw it even earlier today, that it was just so strong, even against Shoes Money Crew when they played them earlier, when they weren't winning out the fights. Lynx was still winning out those Widow duels and still had that presence. It was just maybe a little bit of a lack of capitalization coming out from the rest of the team, from the tank line, that really sort of dealt the death blow to their performance. But I think, if they've managed to come back together, gain some morale for the victories, they might be in with a shot here, Blank.
You talk about the tank line, right? Valmaster's really impressed me, especially last game. He has this really good idea of when to be defensive, when to be aggressive. But Colsty, he is this high-performing main tank, played in Open Division Season 2, went on to numerous contenders teams. But this is the first match. We hit it up right now, and Colsty and Valmaster are already at it.
They're already duking it down. Reinhardt's taking control, and with the first pick going over the way of Shoes Money Crew. And we know how 3-3s want to go. You just pile in the kills, Blank.
Yeah, and recently we've seen a massive change here. Anna starts to get swapped in, so you have this 3-3 variant. And we already see the nade come out huge there, hit 3 of the enemies on the side of OSC. And here it's just Shoes Money Crew, they just walk on forward. Lynx does not go down, however, so he retains a lot of that high charge. We'll be coming back from the point, wants to hit that Graviton quicker than Mouse can.
Keeping on forwards. They have got a decent standing on the point, but Colsty's just still holding up that Ryan shield. Will get broken down. Zeal trying to hold down the flank, but they're moving forwards, and they're getting picked.
Whoa!
The Shatter's there. It's on to 4, and the nano boost means nothing. They're sent packing, and Shoes Money Crew, they are definitely being given a run for their money.
Now that was overzealous from Colsty. Maybe drops down the Earth Shadow, but you know what? It has drawn out the Transcenders from Miniconga. They are not letting up whatsoever versus this team of Shoes Money Crew. If they see an Earth Shadow through, they think that Shoes Money Crew, they believe that they can win that fight, so they do not let any stops up.
Only 30% built up for Shoes Money Crew as well, so they have got a decent shout into this fight and a decently early flip. There's the Graviton Surge, it's pulling a bunch of Shoes Money Crew towards them. The self-destruct sequence blocked out by Colsty, and he's not even gonna let that bother him. He's gonna swing out of that Graviton Surge, find 2 kills already, and they are sending it back. It is 1-for-1, blow for blow here in this final flank.
The bigger bang was almost executed perfectly, pulling them onto the high ground, so Colsey's shield did not cover the entirety of the team. Unfortunately, the Graviton runs out just a little bit too late here. Zeal, so far, comes back in with a vengeance, playing a lot more defensively this time, knowing that even getting caught out a little bit, OSC will take advantage of that.
They are just holding a little bit further forwards. You can see they've got the sound barrier to attack for Operation Spawn Camp, and they are going to pop the rally, so they are going to have plenty of shields. But look at the ult stack from Shoes Money Crew as well. They're going to have plenty to deal with when they're moving forwards. They're playing in that 3-3 composition, so a high amount of sustain means these fights last just a little bit longer. The full 6-pack from Shoes Money Crew pop the rally. They're just duking it out. There's the Shatter. Got down straight on top of the self-destruct sequence. It's not going to find anything, but already Filian has fallen. And they are a player down in a 6v6. That's not where you want to find yourself. Losing that player means it is going to be real tricky going forwards. But they're just chucking in ults, seeing what they can achieve. They've gone 1-for-1 yet again on the trades, and they're not making any progress here. But in goes the Diva, trying to push forwards, but just can't find the opening for Operation Spawn Camp.
Colsty gets back towards the point. Shield is heavily damaged here, so Lynx's lasers will start coming in very shortly. Filian in the front lines wants to find some pickoffs, but doesn't find it quite yet. Valmaster does have the Earth Shatter.
Oh, he blocked it up. Kolsky just holding it down, and with the Graviton Surge, lay it down on top, 93%. Looks pretty good right now for Shoes Money Crew. They're starting us off with a very good display here. They're just swinging about, batting down these players. The health bars disappear. Overtime going away. The Shatter, lay it onto the point, and the first map of the finals is going to go to Shoes Money Crew.
Oh, the coordination from Shoes Money Crew has been so excellent as so far. The ultimate usage has just been popped one after another, just to slowly stall out this point one by one. OSC not finding any cracks in the armor of Shoes Money Crew, so there's no way to find the knife and stick it in. So far, OSC, they're just finding it a little bit difficult to move on through. Now we move over to a map like Gardens, and opens up for more places where Filian can play on the Pharah, Lynx can play on this Widowmaker. Potentially they can take out Shoes Money Crew this way, but I know that Shoes Money Crew will be able to play around this.
Have got a lot of adaptability under their belt. Lynx with that Widowmaker, we talked about it before, Blank. The prowess that this player has shown is pretty incredible.
Oh, this is bold, moving over a bridge, knowing that they will have a Pharah coming out onto this side. Fire Strike goes out, gets immediately blocked up by Ron.
They're moving forwards. They're taking that position. They're denying Lynx those long sight lines, and already having gone over that bridge, the concussion rocket from Filian is completely negated. They've taken up their position on the point, and they are using that cover to just try and deny Lynx as much pressure as possible. They have so much sustain in this ball, and they are drawing their opponents towards them. Valmaster goes down early, and they just rain it on through a very early Rocket Barrage coming out, but only one found. The D-Mech on top of it. And Lynx, oh, hang on a minute. He's popping off. 2 headshots already. Grappling hook around to the side. Pops down the Infrasights as well. And they're finding the openings. This is what we were talking about, Blank. Lynx is so strong.
Zeal just wants to desperately get as much charge as he can towards his next rally. Still remains in the fight, using that rally to keep himself nice and healed. Here comes through the shields, though.
They can't flip the point, and the Shatter only finds the Mercy back up to her fate. She's going to be standing pretty strong right now of Choose Money Crew. They are really struggling to get back onto this point, but the Nano Boosted Brigitte with the rally as well has a lot to do. But Lynx is not just going to let up at all. The headshots are coming thick and fast. Look at him go. He's popping off, Blank.
He doesn't care. He will take you down one by one if he has to. But so far, Choose Money Crew have not made it easy for OSC whatsoever. They played behind the point using the natural cover of this little pylon in the middle here. Saying, you know, if you want to come to us here on Choose Money Crew, you have to walk past here into our sightlines. Now they make the switches onto the other comp. They do botcher some of their economy. However, they will be better equipped to deal with this composition. Really, here, this push is all about getting rid of the ultimates on the side of OSC.
Oh my goodness, Lynx, when will you stop? These people, they are families, my man.
You know, I don't think he's stopping ever.
I don't think so either. Neither's the Wrecking Ball. He's moving straight on forwards, and he's just going to rack up the kills. Yet again, only just used Infrasight in the previous fight. He's already up to 70%. What an absolute madman.
And a fight that began with basically Choose Money Crew wanting to force out ultimates from the side of OSC has ended with a D.Va ult being used, and now they have to make a switch here. They have to decide what they're going to do next. Miles doesn't switch over to Widowmaker, so not going to have the long sightlines, but you know what? Tri-Spear, he can handle it.
They might be able to get the res off, but it's a little bit dangerous. They have the Mercy pocketing the Pharah at the moment. Valkyrie is going to be burnt, and they might not have the Widow for this next fight. But the minefield! It's going to get dropped on the bridge, but he's booped off the edge. Billion only gets 1 for the trade, and they're down 3. Choose Money Crew find the opening. 70% on the point, and it's going to get flipped.
A nice juggle coming out from Valmaster here, but it's not quite enough. He drops to the bridge where Zeal is holding it down. Lynx is there. He has the sightlines available to him. Now, Infrasight is popped, so they know where they're holding, but it's just on point. Like, it was pretty obvious to begin with. They do drop the rally, so extra armor added to the team. Mouse won't take advantage of this, but he'll be backing in the backlines here, hopefully out of the way so he can get a good Deadeye off.
Spear as well with that armor can stay with that Transcendence up just a little bit longer, maintain a little bit more sustainability in this fight. And look, they swapped over to 3-3 Blank. They mean business. They're wrecking on in. In comes the Deadeye, looking to try and find those picks, but nothing is found. They can't get that in. There's the Transcendence that's just being popped on both sides, so the fight is essentially just delayed for a little bit of time. Self-destruct sequence is trying to burst it through. Barbecue comes up huge, the double kill onto both Webster and Lynx means that the rest of the team can just rally it on in. Choose Money Crew have 88%.
Both teams running this free comp now, and extending the fight like that only works in the favor of Choose Money Crew if they tick it on over, because they get more and more ult charge. Zeal up to 6%, but will they even touch it? Quickly, Webster jumps onto the point.
Only the Lucio, though, really close to try and contest. In they come, they're trying their utmost to get those openings, to find what they can, but they are being shut down. One by one, they march in, and they are cut down in the process. The Wrecking Ball spinning around. Last-ditch attempt for the flashbang is there, and nobody can step on forwards. Choose Money Crew are going to take the first map of the final.
This grand final is gonna be good. I can already see it. Choose Money Crew, they leave Mini Kunga alive at the end. They're just it's just mercy, right? They know they've got the point. But this was just so very well played. Again, I was impressed with Valmaster. His Earth Shadows were up to scratch in this game. Unfortunately, the way that Choose Money Crew have played around their own composition has just been slightly better, in my opinion.
It's so strong. The way they were able to come back after what was essentially an incredibly dominating open to the second map. They were able to rotate. They were able to stick to what they knew, what they thought would work, and they made it happen. It was really strong, and that's the sort of adaptability that wins you tournaments like the Open Division, moves you on towards that contender spot, which is really what all these teams are looking for. Obviously, they're both in the trials at the moment, but getting that higher seed just gets you that little bit further, that little bit closer to advancing on the path to pro.
It definitely gives you a bit of an edge, a bit of confidence, especially if you win this map here. So far, I really like what I see from both these teams, and 3-3 has become such a staple recently, right? And you used to see Moras, you used to see Mercy's popped in there. Now we're seeing more of Anna's, which what we've seen is Shoes Money Crew, they play that a lot better with the Anna on the side. Anna battery grenades come through, these 3-man antis basically end a fight before it can even start, and getting the first flip over, especially on control, is so important. Now we're heading over to Hybrid here on Eichenwald. You're definitely going to see a little bit more Farah, maybe a bit more usage of the Brigida in the front lines alongside the Reinhardt. But I'm really interested to see what both these teams pull out.
Well, it's a tale as old as time. Song is Zaya Diva Ryan. It's Goats versus 3-3 that seems to be the preferred method of approach to a lot of these maps. When it comes to the composition, but with maps like Eichenwald coming into the mix, you have some of those different options where we've seen Filion be devastating on the Farah in his performances. You can bring in something like a Doomfist, you can look for the Sombra, and this is really where I see the meta moving forwards and shifting that little bit away from this, brute force. Let's go
Bye-bye.
punch this wall and see how far we get through. What was the episode of Doctor Who where he just repeated his life over and over again for billions of years to just erode through a wall by punching it. That's what I feel like I'm watching when I.
You just got to make it work, right? At some point, you just smack your head against the wall until the wall itself breaks. And these are not bad things to go. So far, however, we're going to look at the defense. They did just throw themselves all off the map. And what is showing was it intimidation, in my opinion, here. But we have Mouse. He's on the Sombra. We got Zeal in the sky as well as Colsey switches over to the Winston. So the main things in my eyes which are important to look at is Mouse on the Sombra and Zeal on the Farah. Why is everyone throwing themselves off the map and killing themselves?
No, Rotten just
this
was
is
able
not
to get
right.
the self-damage
It's not
What's
right.
going on here,
Okay, come on. If Mouse can get an efficient hack onto Valmaster, who he assumes is on Reinhardt, would be great. But the fact that he's playing a very aggressive dive here could put a wrench in the plans of Shoes Money Crew.
Filion over onto the Farah. We've seen how strong he can be, but with Tri-Spear on that Anna, that's not a sky or a sight line that you really want to be contesting too heavily. They're moving forwards. They've managed to break past the choke for Operation Spawn Camp for now. Question is, are they going to be able to maintain this pressure without any picks going through just yet? They haven't got anyone that's there. Mouse is in the sidelines, just keeping on that harassment with the Sombra and making sure that they are constantly on the swivel. They have to always be looking and checking their angles. And it's just no picks going through. The sustain is so strong, Blank.
Indeed it is. The only problem is here is if Zeal can effectively keep Filion in the sky with the Mercy, Minikunga's not providing a lot of healing onto the side, whereas Anna can heal an entire team by herself.
They give over a little bit of ground, but they are coming back swinging. Barbecue already with the first kickoff, and they are just going to roll it on through. Webster soon to follow, and they are pressured back to this choke. You saw how beautifully Shoes Money Crew allowed them into the trap. They said, come here, fly. We are the spider. We have spun our web on point A.
And it is very sticky indeed. I mean, the battery grenade comes down, right? Keeps everyone alive on the side of Shoes Money Crew. And the Yana boost gives that little bit of an extra Z factor to end the fight out. Link switches over to the McCree now. He does have the Deadeye. We got Minikunga with the Transcendence as well. So they're all just building up the ults. We're going to have a 4-pack coming up. Mouse, however, he has this EMP. Zeal also has the Barrage. They kind of want to win this fight just off the EMP. So he will be setting himself up very shortly.
It's all going to be about maintaining that ult charge and the ult advantage on the economy. 2 minutes left on the clock, and they're going to open it up with the Deadeye, but there comes the EMP.
Oh no!
Tri-Spear going down early. Zeal's to follow. Lynx is starting to open up. This hit scan demon is on a tear. The res goes through onto Tri-Spear, and they're turning it around with the self-destruct sequence. They are keeping this pressure up, but they're not moving forwards. They haven't been able to find the foothold towards the point, and Mouse is still operating like a madman in those sidelines. Diva gets Phoenix, and they hold it yet again.
Colsey just made a full 360 of the map, and there's another Deadeye.
Didn't he just use that? Didn't he just have one of those going up? And Lynx managed to find a second one already. Not too worried about not getting too much value out of that. It was creating that space that they wanted. There's the ult coming through, the Transcendence, just to keep them all nice and healthy on the approach. As Zeal gets the res, but they've already lost their main tank. Tri-Spear trying to stop that healing.
Ooh, Valmaster!
With the Vita Grenade, but Mouse is still there, ready and waiting. The sleep onto Rotten in the sidelines as well means that they have no Diva pressure. They are just batting their head against this door, and another EMP comes out for Mouse. They're getting it shut down, though, as Lynx is not letting this at all dissuade him from moving on forwards. The headshots are so strong. Widow, McCree, whatever you put this guy on, he is going to tear through your team.
Oh my god, Lynx played so extremely well, and that was practically just one fight. There was no room for a reset, no room to change any compositions up, and who needs a spawn room when you've got a Mercy racing you every 30 seconds? Now, Ronan, he has this self-destruct, and it's good as well as because he'll retain a lot of this ult economy coming into second point where Winston D.Va is probably preferred here. Colsty now has to come back onto the Winston. He's used Primal Rage to hold off on. They're going to get a lot of value out of this push here, John.
My question is Lynx going to be, or is Mao's going to be able to stand up to the pressure that Lynx is going to exert on this Widow? It's really going to dictate as to the pace of this second point, but already self-destruct sequence is huge. Rotten spoils their apples. He's going to take the double kill and also take the high ground.
Oh my days. That was a spoil ultimate indeed. And there goes Lynx once again with the grapple hook shot. Colsey gets the hell out of the dodge, runs back to spawn, runs back to his healers whilst Mouse takes a beating, gets zapped by Valmaster.
There he goes. He's already got that high ground already up on that stanchion there towards the second point, or the end of this second point. They are about to mount their assault on the bridge. Valkyrie available. They don't have too many ults though to play with.
2 minutes 22. They've got this round in a very, very short amount of time considering the point hold they had on point A, but Lynx is just given all the angles as you see the first shot come out.
Oh, Valmaster trying to zone away Zeal, but the rest of his team is left to be laid bare. There's the Dragon Strike just sent across the point, but it's not enough. They're giving him over the payload. Is he the only one close enough? Barbecue gets demeched, and Lynx is still just at a range, at a distance, doing so much work. Zeal finally able to deal with it, but it is too late. The point is gone.
OSC, they make it through. After a pretty tough defeat on Li Jiang, they're coming back in a very big way. They've given Lynx the angles, they've given him the sight lines. Valmas and Ron so far playing like a well-oiled machine to keep him in position away from any of the tanks. Now, it will be Filion in the front line with the rally, ready to open up this second push into point C.
Might be a little bit more tricky for Lynx to operate inside here, but it's not going to phase them. 1 kill for 1 kill so far, and the res is coming out for Valmaster. This is Operation Spawn Camp having the advantage in the team fight so far, and they've moved the payload very close towards that end. They just need to win out the rest of the fight.
No
That's
way!
The drop sequence not around the corner, but it's a double kill no matter what. He's still able to find the opening, and that is the signal for Shoes Money Crew to put the pedal to the metal, and they race it on out.
That's it, the foot has been put down. Get back to your room, OSC. You're not getting any further. Have you done your chores? I think not. Mouse, he's going up to a Graviton, 75%. This is definitely what they use to hold the line. They need to hold forward with 2 minutes 21. They cannot let this payload stay around here so close to the end of point C. Now, it will be Colsty in the front.
Oh, Valmaster getting back to the side, a little bit risky, but he's building up that charge on the Reinhardt. The rest of his team keeping him nice and healthy. They push through the choke. A solo, over onto Lynx, and he just gets bubbled up and kept safe, but only for so long. The rest of the team rally on through, and they push it on out with the rally from the Brigitte.
We are playing standard 3-3 variation here. We have the armor on top. They're going to retain that for the next fight. Minikunga, probably the only one who's so close to his ultimate, which is the Transcendence, potentially able to move that through. But I think this next push is going to be stopped quite quickly. And I think Shoes Money Crew are looking to end this fast because they do not want to give any more ult charge over to the side of OSC.
1.5 minutes. This is the last opportunity for them to go for any changes to the roster. Lynx back on that McCree might have a little bit of something to do, but the Earth Shatter's out. It's not going to have any effect. They've managed to pop the Transcendence in time to keep everyone nice and healthy, and with the first pick onto Zeal, they can start to move forwards. Colsey blocks the Shatter for his team, and they're trading it back with exactly the same ult trade. Self-destruct sequence layered down on top is just going to pin them into the melee with the Reinhardt, and they are going to charge it out yet again. A minute left now, Blank.
Lynx though in the back line, pushing the payload along. Zeal will be coming up there to force him out. Out comes the flashbang. Will take him to the head. And Deadeye just to hold him on the point for a little bit longer.
Oh, he's going to try and get it down, but Tri-Spears have none of it. There you go. Have those orbs. They're not going to do you too well.
Not at all. Now, again, we start the push up again. Mouse, he has this Graviton, managed to farm another one in that lengthy fight beforehand. See if you can find more than just one player. But to be fair, I imagine they're pretty happy getting Lynx within the Graviton. He is probably the main problem they're having at the moment.
He's over onto the Doomfist, going to be able to displace
Oh,
Colsey.
huge.
There's a huge Graviton. Kelsey's going to be able to swing the hammer, build up so much charge on the Shatter, and they're going to have it for next fight. They've only got 23 seconds.
They're going to hold very much forward here. Zeal coming up towards the rally as well as Webster will be able to get this engage out with the sound barrier. 15 seconds remaining, John. They have so far to go to get back to the point, but Colsey lays them all down flat.
Doomfist going to be going straight for the point. Needs to get that contest out. The trades need to come out. Colsey, those pinned against the wall. And the point load is getting pushed as well. They're getting the contest. There's the Graviton Surge layered on top. And they are keeping moving on forwards. The Earth Shatter down as well. They are just taking everything they can right now. But they are losing members along the way. Mini Kunga going down. And this is going to allow Shoes Money Crew to get out of spawn, come back for the recontest. And it is so difficult right now for Operation Spawn Camp to come back into this fight. They're trading evenly, but the spawn is a disadvantage for Operation Spawn Camp. They're able to get the picks, and the shield bash is there. Rotten goes down, and they are trying their best to contest, but Shoes Money Crew, they stand tall. They have the kill. There's the shield bash onto Valmaster. The destruct sequence goes out. Overtime ticking away, and Webster goes down to finish us out. What a hold for Shoes Money Crew.
If Zeal didn't take him down there, the bomb surely would have done. He knew exactly what was coming. He had the timing down to an absolute pat in that last couple of seconds. Shoes Money Crew, they managed to nail the hammer in and they stopped them here. They will not take point C, and it'll be only 2 points capped over to OSC. They had some troubles on that last point where Lynx had to switch over some different heroes. He's definitely a very good player on this Widowmaker, but then they start to have to play around the tanks, and so far, Colsey and Barbecue to me just seem like the better pair.
If you're a contender scout right now, check out Lynx's Twitter because he might be putting up an LFT if his team doesn't get that far through trials. We'll have to wait and see. But if they can't take down Shoes Money Crew, they might not have too much of a luck. But I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking he could stand up in this scene. Like, he is really, really strong, and no matter what, he's always putting the hurt down. 2 Deadeyes in that first fight over on the first point. That was ridiculous.
It was fairly mental. It's just a credit to how many shots he is hitting, but you've also got to see the relevance that has towards his own tanks. They are giving him so much pressure, giving him so much space to work within those sightlines, work within those angles with ease. Not many people were able to force on towards him. Colsey and Barbecue are mainly occupied a lot of the times as they come into this more close quarters last point. They still find it difficult to operate within there because Colsey, he just lays down the law at the door.
No one can get past the Sheriff, unfortunately. He's just going to be able to roll it on out, and this is the chance as well for Shoes Money Crew to take it here in this map number 2. That would put them at that 3-0 advantage, and in the weighted best of 7, that would put them on match point, which is quite a scary lead to be coming up against if you're Operation Spawn Camp.
Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. We are going to see Shoes Money Crew jumping out the gate, straight onto point A. It will be Mouse on this McCree. Tri-Spear falls. That's going to put an end to this push.
Yeah, they just have to regroup here. Lynx on the bridge, able to get the SMG kills from up on high, fall on back, and just start to hack up a couple more health packs.
They absolutely need the Discord Orb. It's so monumental when it comes to taking down Philion in the sky, increasing the amount of damage that Mouse does at all times. And there's Lynx, just been a bit of a nuisance in the backline, a bit of a mosquito. They do just get away from him. They're going to hide underneath, prevent the amount of damage that Philion can push through because they understand he's already well on his way towards that next barrage.
Got about 60% there, and if they move and give him those open skies to operate on, it could be devastating to their push. They're starting to move forwards towards the point. Barbecue going up to contest Philion in the sky, just zoning them out, giving them a little bit more space. Colsey able to take down Valmaster in the meantime, not in a reservoir position either, but this is the chance of Philion to start to come up big, but Mouse shuts him down almost immediately, and straight away turns onto Webster as well. Lynx, you're being channeled, my friend. He's got 3 kills already.
100%. You know, Panda, he was saying on the decks, don't sleep on Mouse. We're absolutely not sleeping on him. If we're not waking out, we are definitely awake at this point in time. Lynx, however, he has the EMP, but he did not come up quick enough to stop the point A push, but they will be able to remove some of the momentum that they are getting coming into point B.
They have to just regroup a little bit. This on Eichenwald, that first little set of push just gives you so much time to regroup on the defense. You can just reset up, and it just goes back to that economy basics.
Definitely. Colsey jumping out. Lynx will have the EMP. Philion will definitely be able to follow up as well as with the barrage, but Lynx takes so much damage, and the bait from Barbecue.
Oh, it's there. Double headshot coming through from Tri-Spirit. Seal gets the whip shot straight on down onto Fillion, who is ulting. Mouse capitalizes, and yet again, another beautiful fight from Shoes Money Crew.
That was absolutely disgusting. We saw this in the grand finals between Runaway and Kongdu Panthera. What happened there was out came the D.Va, baited out the big barrage, and then the rest of the team floods on through, and that's exactly what happened to Philly on there. He switches up the Brigitte, comes off the Pharah, understands that Shoes Money Crew, well, they've got his number.
They're moving on forwards. There's the sound barrier, and the Deadeye takes down
way!
No more Widow threat. No more Widow. The Zeal as well, just moving on forwards. He's been a beast on this Brigitte, and he won't let up now. They are just rolling every fight they come across here on this second point.
Battle Mercy, more like Dead Mercy, am I right? Kill him. You had to do it to him. So now Barbecue's gonna have this D.Va ultimate as well as to hold at the gate. I doubt they'll even need it though.
They have managed to get the contest on, though. They are rolling out. They are trying to go for the kills, but there's the Transcendence. The first kill over onto Fillion is traded back equally, but Barbecue with the self-destruct gets the D-Mech as well as that first kill onto Webster. And again, going to be Shoes Money Crew coming out on top of this fight. And with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left, they don't have to go that far.
Yeah, and they could use all the ultimates here that they want because they're going to make a transitional comp here. They're going to go into Reinhardt Zarya to better hold on this second point. Zeal switches over to the Brigitte. They're going to keep Miles on the McCree. As they come in here with 4 minutes 30, they just wanted to end point B as quickly as possible.
They're moving it on forwards. Valmaster nowhere near that Earth Shatter. Lynx nowhere near the Graviton Surge. It's just a pure Duke fest right now for this next fight. See Colsey started to move it on forwards, but Zeal is the first casualty of the fight for the defense. That's a big advantage. They might want to start just pouring out and getting that ult charge on board, getting a couple of frags through with Mouse falling down as well. They're just losing the tank line. You can see they are just building up so much ult charge.
Colsey still stays far enough away from Balmaster so he's just not able to hit him with that hammer and get up towards his Earth Shadow zone. So Colsey still retains that advantage in ult, which is probably one of the biggest ults coming up other than the rally.
They have got that Transcendence as well for Mini Kunga that they might want to opt to use at the start of the fight. But the Shatter's there, already onto 3, but the Graviton Surge stops them moving forwards. Tri-Spear, though, dealing out the damage with those orbs. The single boot, though, off the edge. He's not going to be effective, has no longer got that presence in the fight. But Colsey rolls on forwards. They've got the Brig. They've got plenty of healing coming out from the rest of the team, and they keep it on out. There is the Transcendence coming out from Mini Kunga. Rotten has the self-destruct sequence coming out of spawn at the moment, but it's not going to stop the push on the payload for now. They go in for the recontest. Valmaster gets boot on back. Mouse has the Graviton Surge coming up, but Valmaster has that Shatter to try and counter. They
the bigger bang!
Sequence. Valmaster not there with a shield, but the charge is there as well, and they capitalize beautifully. The D-Mech's there, and Barbecue gonna be able to just rocket boost his way forwards and propel his team towards that final check.
That is so unfortunate. They used the trance and then they used the beat on top of it, which is a bit questionable here. Removing a lot of the defensive capabilities of this composition, then moving on towards this golden box of victory. Fillion has to get in. Out comes the D.Va ult.
Oh, there's the Transcendence, completely negated. Colsey blocks out the rest of the damage. They're starting to move it on forward. Blank Fillion goes down early, and they are so close to the end here. There's the Shatter, though. It's onto the both of the tanks, but it doesn't matter. They don't step forwards, and Shoes Money Crew take match point in the finals.
We will be seeing this final potential map between OSC and Shoes Money Crew. Who will it go to? That is the question. Will OSC be able to keep their hopes alive in this series?
Well, what a beautiful play coming out from SMC. The Lynx, though, had a beautiful performance constantly throughout that game. We're going to hand it over to our desk after this play of the game because I know what I think about this, but I'd like to get some of our professors' opinions. So, Gio and the rest of the desk, what have you got?
Here I am with the professors, and we're going to give you some opinions. So, Operation Spawn Camp, they're probably shaking a little bit here with Shoes Money Crew EU having already their courtesy map win. That means they are up 3 on Operation Spawn Camp. That means they only have to win 1 more map to be taking the grand finals. One of the things that I was asking you guys in the pre-game was, what players do we want to be looking out for? These are the players that we're going to be potentially watching in contenders in the near future. And it appeared while watching these games that some of the players that came up quite a bit were actually the support players. Nari, you had a lot to say about this. We were watching Tri-Spear and Mini Kunga. What do you think about how the support play has been affecting the outcome of these games?
Like, can we talk about Tri-Spear? Holy cow. Trispear and Minikanga on those Zenyatas have just been absolutely ridiculous. Minikanga with those Discord orbs and his Orb of Discord, Orb of Destruction, that's the one. And like creating that space for Lynx to just go absolutely nuts, getting in as much damage as he has been. It's been absolutely ridiculous. Trispear being that DPS Zenyatta, getting killing blows on the Winstons, getting killing blows on the DPS. I mean, he's just been out of this world. Izzy doing so much to consistently contest payload and try and push that overtime over on that Lucio, just being one of those like super slippery Lucios. Like this game, like yeah, we can talk about Mouse and Lynx, good DPS, but I feel like the supports are doing so much work here. They are actually carrying their teams. They are creating so much space for them, so much opportunity. I'm loving every second of it.
I think that it's very easy to say that Shoes Money Crew, they're up 3, and Operation Spawn Camp, they've got a lot to live up to, but it's easy to make that sound as if they haven't been doing anything, but these have been some pretty tight fights in a lot of cases. Panda, what do you think that Operation Spawn Camp have to do to build upon the things that they've been doing well in order to swing this back in their favor?
Well, I can definitely tell you a good highlight from the past 2 maps is that though they weren't always coming up on these skirmishes in a even format, not coming up and having the same numbers, whether it was spawn room advantage or not, they looked really good once the cart got unlocked there on Eichenwald as well. Let's not forget our next map as well will actually be escorted in this best of 7 series. So I think if there's one way that they can definitely implement their upper hand into this reverse sweep, that I'm sure a lot of you would be very happy to see us go the distance here in between these 2 Goliaths of European Overwatch as well, is just playing the game that brought them here, right? If it's going to be Rodin's Diva that we got to see on the final stretch across that bridge of Eichenwald, I say let's go for it. He was everywhere at a multitude of times, just defense matrix we know is only up for 2 seconds of use, and he made every single millisecond count of that bad boy, just eating up a lot of prime volleys coming out of Trispear, multiple different cooldowns from a lot of different heroes, but overall, besides that, I saw Valmaster really finding his stride in his dives as well. Much like how Naori said as well, it's not always about the DPS, specifically Lynx, quite literally popping off and popping heads of Shoes Money Crew, but it also wouldn't be done by good space being created by his tanks and good peel along with that kite.
You know, we've been saying that it's not all about the DPS. We've been seeing some really wonderful, particularly support play. The tanks have been doing really well. But Panda, you did say at the beginning that Mouse was going to be who you were looking out for. Has he been living up to your expectations?
Oh, absolutely. When we brought in the pre-show for us here at the desk, we made a note about the word flexibility. It definitely seems to be the word of the day, especially with how these 2 teams have been playing out through Open Division playoffs. They've been holding off their more finer strategies, if you will. When the flexibility gate got flooded open, we got to see Mouse flex over to that McCree, first on Lijiang Tower on the Gardens, with Trispear on that Zenyatta, and having Zeal on the Brigitte as well. Just really having a lot of free space in open room. Just to take a quick quote from my good man McCree as well, it's just like shooting fish in the barrel for that man. He's landing his shots. His tracking is very, very nice, and not to mention his Sombra that we got to see on Eichenwald. A very good touch to this player's hero pool.
Awesome. Nari, do you think maybe Operation Spawn Camp can swing this back? Do you think they can take the next map?
Jeez, hey, tough to say. I'm hoping that maybe they've got some like secret map strats that are gonna come through, and they're just gonna like completely wow us with their utter ridiculous play in a coming map. But at the moment, it seems like this is gonna go to Shoes Money Crew like full on, and I really hope not. I hope that we can like battle this out a bit longer. Let's go the distance. Let's do all these maps. But if Shoes Money Crew keep playing the way that they have been thus far, I think this could be a pretty quick series.
I'm hoping that it goes on a little bit longer because I'm really enjoying watching these 2 teams play against each other. But who knows? Like, Shoes Money Crew have been doing so well. They've been showing such a dominant performance. Who do we hope is going to pop off in the next one from both teams? We've already mentioned Trispear, we've mentioned Mouse, we've pointed out that Lynx has been doing well, but who would we like to kind of rise and really show themselves?
A lot of different players have been doing a lot of good things. I mean, whether it was Zeal's play the game on that so-called support Brigitte with the time shield bash for barbecue self-destruct, so that way tanks can end up showing through. The one player in particular I want to see step up to the plate and go huge. It's actually Filion. He's been pretty quiet as of late through these past couple matches. I know his Pharah is very strong, and he plays a multitude of projectile heroes. That Genji made a good running in previous matches here on Broadcast.gg, and I'd like to see him pull it back out.
Nari?
Yeah, I can get behind that 100%. On the previous map, we saw his Pharah being absolutely dominant. We've seen it in the previous match as well, and I think that he just needs that opportunity to shine. If we just give him a little bit of time, he's gonna come out here and be like, Lynx who? Yeah, I can get behind that.
I think I'm very excited to see how this next map goes. Let's see who's going to take it. If it's going to be Shoes Money Crew EU taking the grand final very quickly, or maybe Operation Spawn Camp coming back to show us what they're made of. Either way, we're going to throw it back over to Blank and John to take us through it.
Thank you very much, Gio. I'm really excited to see how this one's going to end. The way that SMC are playing right now, they are absolutely on a tear. The question is, are they going to be able to keep up this momentum? My initial gut feeling is that they probably will, but, you know, it's all to play for. Operation Spawn Camp, they're playing on Rialto, and we've seen how they can do here before. Blank, hello? Ah, it's not me this time. It is, in fact.
It's going to be done at least once. All right, I had to tap out. Just allow me. Allow me a little bit.
It's okay.
All right, so this is the map that actually OSC had a little bit of trouble with versus HSL. The main thing for me to be thinking about here is that Lynx is their star player. He plays on the Widowmaker. Rialto is very much close quarters, more McCree type base map with the Pharah in there as well as. If Lynx hasn't provided these long sight lines to pop off on the Widowmaker, I think SMC have a high chance of winning Rialto.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tricky, certainly, but we've seen how Filion can operate on this Pharah, and actually we've seen how Lynx can operate on the McCree as well. So maybe they can adapt, and that's really the word of the day. Even on the desk, they were talking about it. Flexibility. Okay, again, I don't know if it's on stream at the moment, but it might be. But everyone just jumping off the edge. I love it.
They're coordinating it. They're coordinating it. It's
what a good way to start. But Lynx has been adaptable. They've been flexible, which is the word of the day, as I said. Flexibility is so crucial, especially on a map like Rialto, and especially when you didn't have the best of performances on it earlier today.
Exactly. I mean, if it's anything to say, they had a long match on Rialto versus HSL, so maybe they've got all the kinks ironed out in the shirt. Possibly they'll be able to take this one a little bit easier, a little bit more laid back, knowing what to expect. But SMC, they're not going to move forward. They're going to take down all the railings as well to make those boops a little bit easier. A bit cheeky there, a bit cheeky. Zeal's going to be looking for a quick concussion rocket, take them down. Quickly though, we do see OSC just checking out. Lynx is on the Widow regardless.
Yeah, they did not hold close for Shoes Money Crew. Instead, they took that high ground at the back. Some teams have been holding close today a lot in the past, and you saw actually Ross just hero changes very, very quickly coming out from Operation Spawn Camp to just try and deal with it. But already Lynx is down. That's a real good opening, but it's traded back. They're moving it on forward. Filion seems to be the superior air force right now. A risky res coming down.
Oh my!
Is going to get away with it. And Zeal comes back up. Mouse gets the headshot. And Shoes Money Crew come out on top of this fight.
Oh, you've got to give credit to TriSpec. The absolute tracking on that Ana shots there to keep Izzy alive through that disgustingly risky res with the Discord orb on top of him is just insane. Mouse finds the pick onto Lynx. This first point is just going absolutely in the favor of SMC. TriSpec desperately trying to get quickly up towards that next nano boost. He knows he likes to put it on Colsty, and holding on this corner is really good for Colsty, seeing as he can retain a lot of his health by just backing in and out of the corner, zapping targets as they come through. It's just a Mexican standoff at the moment, though.
Filion's going to have a little bit more tricky of a time with that infrasight up. The sight lines are there for Maus, and instead he's just going to turn it on to Lynx on that Widowmaker. Seems like he's figured out how to play the sniper after all. And he is winning out these Widow trades pretty consistently at this stage on the first point Rialto. 2.5 minutes though, there's still plenty of time to come back into it. But with shots like that, Maus, he's starting to pick up his feet.
They clip a lot of the healing though from SMC.
Yeah, they've actually managed to deny it. They're starting to turn it around with the Tri-Spear res, though. They still have the shout. They're still moving it on forwards. Izzy been on point with this so far, but Fillion's dealing out more damage to boot. Valmaster moves towards the back line, and now it's only really Colsty who's been left alive with the res as well. Zeal nano boosted up, but Colsty's over the edge, and it's just Pharah left pretty high and dry at the moment.
That is a soaking wet monkey down in the waters over there. He's going to have to get a blow dryer out to keep himself nice and dry. They drop around, Miles goes down, Izzy is in a terrible spot, does go for the risky res, goes down himself. I'm not sure what Miles can achieve here. That was just kind of cruel, if I'm quite honest with you.
Well, first point, going to get capped pretty swiftly there. 4 minutes now left on the clock to aggress onto the second point, and they're not letting that stop them at all. They're moving straight on, and they want to keep going for this fight, but they're being shouted out by the rest of the team. Come back, guys. We can't heal you. You're not in our sightlines. Come back.
Miles remains on the Widowmaker. For the time being, we'll have the Impresight up and ready about the same time as Link, so they're going to know exactly where they are about the same time. Filion is definitely looking for this big barrage, however, which is why you can see SMC playing quite spread, Barbecue, holding onto those boosters, just in case.
Imprecise on both sides at the moment. Kosti out of the bubble. He dropped it a little bit too early, so he wasn't kept safe. Lynx, though, is going to capitalize beautifully. The lack of the shield there, and the headshots are through. Barbecue falls down to the sightlines.
Absolutely take it back, John. I said that Lynx can play within these sightlines. He's proved me wrong time and time and again. Oh, credit to the lad. He's amazing.
Absolutely. Definitely a really strong Widow player. The question is, are the rest of the team going to be able to rally around those picks? For now, the answer's been yes, but third point, notoriously difficult.
There's so much threat coming out from the Widowmaker, and there's threat from this barrage as well, as they've got to be ready for and waiting. They do take it down just before point B ends.
And there we go, Izzy getting the headshots as well onto Lynx. They're trading it back, but it's a little bit too little. Only the D-Mech going through in response. And the pressure is still mounting on forwards with that res onto Lynx as well. They have so much forward momentum to be playing with. Zeal pops the rally to try and keep going, and they get the D-Mech yet again coming out for Kolsti. But the Transcendence is there, keeping everyone nice and healthy. Filion is still there. Lynx almost has that Impresight again, but in comes the other Transcendence for Shoe Money Crew, and they are going to send them back, finally, to their spawn.
Kolsti gets a nice juggle onto Valmaster there, takes him down. The main thing we're going to be looking out for is Izzy is now on this Lucio, looking and tracking for Lynx. He is the froggy assassin that they asked for, and they definitely received one. They have made a massive payment out, presumably. I can't imagine froggy assassins are cheap. However, he's going to have to beat this next fight. So when Roten comes in with the self-destruct, they'll be quickly able to beat and go straight onto the backlines.
Are they going to be able to out-hop the frog is the question. They're already seeming to do so. The headshot over onto Mao. Self-destruct sequence is traded. And only Rotten to
Whoa!
Barbecue! Absolutely mental with these self-destruct sequences yet again coming up aces.
Izzy was a little bit hesitant, and then Barbecue comes out with the 3, and he's like, all right, I'm beating this. I'm definitely beating this. He gets the 4 kills. Zealand tries spear. They finish it up onto the kill, onto Rodden there. Filion, he switches over to this Hanzo. He's a little bit in the mid between McCree and Widowmaker, but he's a massive tank buster. It's going to be great for Kolsti and Barbecue because there is no massive shield in the way. Already, you see the results coming through.
They've managed to get the frags that they need to open up to the fight. Not really too many ultimates on this defense here to play with. Mal swapping over onto the McCree to try and get back in and have a little bit more presence maybe with that CC. The payload, 60 seconds left, needs to be pushed towards that second point. They haven't really capitalized on those 2 picks that they managed to get with any more, but Valmaster straight onto the back lines. And that is the go time. That is the go switch they were looking for. Tri-Spear and the rally. Both of the ultimates, all the supports getting shut on out. There's another self-destruct sequence. This time, it's blocked by the wall. Nothing found from that. And there's the Dragon Strike to try and zone them off the point. They need to move on forward. Only the D-Mech is going to come through, but Lynx is still popping heads. He's still going. Nothing can put the brakes on this train, and they are going to be able to move this payload forwards. But are they going to be able to do so in time? 25 seconds left.
Whoa,
Miles is chiming back in. Izzy takes down Lynx, and they're trading it back. Miles, again, with the headshot, with the 6-barrel shooter, and Tri-Spear stands tall as well. The res goes through onto my Mini Kunga, but the time is ticking away. Only 10 seconds left, and they've seen them off the point blank. What's do it? Choose Mini
It's the
Crew.
froggy assassin, bro. They can't out-hop him. He's back. He's back worse than ever. He's found the lily pad. They're not able to jump onto it, and that's it. They get run over before they can even make to the end of point B.
Oh dear. What a showing from Shoe Money Crew. Time and time again, they took the 4 versus 6 fights, and they came out on top. Beautiful ults on the Transcendence from Tri-Spear, keeping them alive. The rally from Zeal, just making sure everybody had the armor, the hardiness to come back in. And when Mouse comes into the fight, you're going to know about it. It's going to be real
100%.
difficult to stand up, and it's just beautiful to see.
The guy, he definitely can't knock the guy for having great acquisition of targets and just putting the pain on. Unfortunately, towards the very, very beginning of that fight, it was because Izzy and Miles' position was so far away from the tanks because they were just waiting out the Valkyrie, right? But Miles and Izzy positioned themselves on the side, and it's so easy for Valmaster and Rotten to quickly coordinate. Right, I'm leaping on this, going to drop the bubble down, cordon off all the rest of the targets, and we're just going to burst them. So that's how the start of the fight comes out. And then it just shows again the adaptability of MSC. They're able to come back into the fight, coordinate how they want to go about it, using the natural cover. And they just managed to get 6 people back onto the point somehow and pull it back.
They're using that cover beautifully, as you said, Blank. But now is the hour. It is down to the wire for Operation Spawn Camp. They have only this standing between them and taking the loss in the finals, and Shoes Money Crew taking that top spot. It's going to be real difficult. They're going to have their work cut out for them. But if there's any team that can do it, it's going to be these guys.
They want it. They really do want it. I can imagine the OSC are gritting their teeth right now. And we'll see what happens, because so far what's mostly happened in the fights is that for SMC, a lot of times they lose them is because of bad positioning, and then they win them back from good positioning. I want a little bit more consistency from these guys. That's what we want to see as we come into this second attack. But it will be SMC rolling out the gates here in the grand finals. Colsty, he is on the Reinhardt. We have Barbecue back on his trademark Diva.
Fillion into the sky. He goes on the defense. There we go. There's the concussive rocket. That's what you're looking for. That's going to put a halt straight away to the first push.
Kind of just bopped into the air, and he was like,
Right there, Blank.
guys, I'm going for a dip.
Yeah, dude. He's just sent down to the depths. Davy Jones, hi. How you doing?
He's just having a quick look in his locker, checking if there's any lunch there. Right, coming back into this one, Colsey switches over to the Winston, possibly just on the Reinhardt to block out the concussion rockets to come through. Barbecue holds the Diva Matrix up. They are getting position now. Lynx quick the bear grenade onto him, but they won't have that to have a big anti. Doesn't matter though. Lynx finds the pick.
They've already managed to take down the one, the only froggy assassin, Izzy. They've managed to take him out the fight for now, but they have been zoned away into the building on the side. They're rotating up, they're taking control of this high ground, and they can start to pin them in towards an unfavorable position. The bubbles are there, but Rotten is there with the rest of his team. They haven't been able to push this payload. Izzy finally responding to it, but in the meantime, Operation Spawn Camp, they are certainly spawn camping right now.
Absolutely. They have to invest that Resurrect onto Lynx, though. He has been this massive, basically titanium wall for SMC. He finds these perfect picks off the beginning of the games. Now, Fillion, he does have the barrage. We'll be looking to use that. There is a nano boost to apply to him in the air, as well as to make sure he survives it should Barbecue try to deny it in the air.
Have still got that pressure. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left for Shoes Money Crew to get towards that first point. If they're able to do so, they have the chance at rolling it on forward straight towards the victory of this entire tournament. Certainly something they're going to be absolutely chugging down the throat for. But there we go, Fillion already with the double kill on that rocket barrage. And again, a very quick end to this fight means that Shoes Money Crew have to go again.
Absolutely. There is the 30 seconds gone though on the res, so we do see Webster pull Fillion back up again, so it's a 6 stack remaining. Nano boost Farage invested, no surprise there. Now a few ultimates are down, but some ultimates are back up again, so we now have the Primal Rage, we've got the Valkyrie, we've got Self-Destruct, and they're just cycling them out so efficiently.
They're moving it on forward. There's the self-destruct sequence. Barbecue, his signature move, and he's already taken down Lynx, which means that that defense has had a couple of holes now, with Mini Kunga going down as well. Mouse has found the opening, and they're pushing it on forwards. This is the fight that they were looking for, but they still have to get all the way through this courtyard flank.
Mouse drops down the Peacemaker, and he is not Peacekeeper. He's not here to keep the peace, however, as he drops several opponents out once. Now Lynx, he's holding back behind the gates. Valmaster will be coming back in with the Primal Rage, stall us out a little bit, and the Self-Destruct is there. So they have a lot of defensive ultimates to stay on the point as long as possible. It will be up to Lynx to find those picks within the fight, and the Infrasight is just going to make it ever easier.
There's the self-destruct sequence getting thrown out on the defense, but it's not going to find anything. Tries Spear, has that transcendence to keep everyone nice and healthy, but Lynx taking down Mouse means no Deadeye into the rest of the fight. They haven't got a mercy to go for the res, so they just have to go off the back of their pure skill right now. But Barbecue, he is making it work. He is showing just how much skill he has in the rest of this fight. Diva moves towards the backlines and deals the damage as well. Nano boost onto Mini Diva. Not too sure you want to be going for that one. It's taken down pretty quickly, and the sound barrier sees them home.
The light gun becomes a heavy gun for a short while, but it's not enough when you only got 150 HP. Something you've got to highlight in the last fight is the positioning from Trispear and Zeal. Zeal completely blocks off Lynx's sight lines as he tried to get the flank off, and Zeal keeps behind the walls, is able to apply Discord orbs from a distance and extra healing. So he's always available. So great positioning from both the supports to shut down Lynx and also add benefit to his own team. Now, Philly will be coming back into this one with the barrage, and that's their major ultimate. Mouse will be ready with a Deadeye, however.
They've got that transcendence, not the transcendence, sorry, the self-destruct for Barbecue. Doesn't need that to show them who is boss right now. Valmaster goes down, tries Spear with the headshots. He's the better Widow. Miles as well taking the frags, and this is Shoes Money crew demonstrating why they are sat at the top, why they have gone undefeated so far. This could be it. This could be the team fight that decides it all, Blank. There's only a sliver of distance standing between Shoes Money crew and victory here at the European Open Division. Here he comes, the monkey's back, but it's not enough. Shoes Money crew, they take it home. They are going 4-0, a clean record in the playoffs, and they are going to take the European Open Division. That is one heck of a trophy.
Oh my god, there was a jump from Valmaster right at the end there, the leap to get back onto the point, to extend the timer, get into overtime. Easy drops out there, he knew it was coming, boops him, and he whiffs the jump, hits the wall instead, and prevents him from touching. That was so very well played from Izzy there. I am utterly impressed. Oh my god.
Phenomenal performance from the whole of Shoes Money crew EU. Operation Spawn Camp, they had some glimmers of hope. They had some great time. They had such a good showing in some of these circumstances, but the consistency that Shoes Money crew were displaying was just a phenomenal and, quite frankly, unstoppable in the Open Division.
Indeed, they were handed the Operation Spawn Camp, but in this time, its mission failed. We'll get them next time, boys.
Well, get them next time. We'll have to wait and see what that is, but it's on to the trials for them next. We're going to send it over to our analyst desk to break down the champions that are Shoes Money crew. Guys, what are you thinking?
What a fantastic end to Open Division Season 3 here in the EU. We have our grand final winners with Shoes Money crew EU. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Operation Spawn Camp in spite of the amazing playing that we've seen them doing today, throughout playoffs, throughout the rest of Open Division. Guys, what do you think of that match, firstly?
I personally would definitely put a good note on, like, Shoes Money crew. They definitely got pushed to their limit. If anything, most of these teams, included of the, I guess, the more difficult ones to face, especially like Shoes Money crew, they were probably holding a lot of these strategies in their back pocket. The tip your hat to South Korean composition with the main tank Hamster Man and with the off tank Diva just setting up Mouse on the McCree was looking very, very nice. Like, they have obviously practiced it before, but they were holding off on it until they absolutely needed to pull it out in certain situations that they were comfortable always sticking to Mouse with that Sombra, flexing over to the McCree with Zeal staying on the Brigitte, setting up Barbecue's bombs. You could just tell altogether that Shoes Money crew, they definitely had their dimes stuck together today.
Nari?
Yeah, really crazy plays coming through there. I was so surprised at how well they held off Shoes Money crew on that first point Rialto. They held it for so long. They did such a good job there. But ultimately, I mean, Mouse coming through on that McCree, just a whole other level. Lynx was doing so much to shut him down, though, consistently just getting those headshots, making that space. But as soon as they capped first point, they just kind of rolled on through. They went with that momentum. They pushed right through. It was really good game. Sad to see that it was unfortunately just a 3-map series. Was hoping for something a little bit more extended, but overall I'm really happy with both teams, their flexibility, their willingness to swap off and change compositions. Yeah, great games overall.
It has been fantastic, and obviously we're going to be so much more all of these players. We've made it pretty poignant to be pointing out specific players who have been doing so well, and in the halftime segment we spoke about the supports. In the pregame we spoke about the DPS, but I think it's really important for us now to bring up a player who we spoke about a lot during that match, and that was Barbecue. His ability to play the diva so effectively was so well, and often diva becomes that unsung hero because she has so many roles to take part of in a game. Panda, what did you particularly like about Barbecue on that off tank role?
I think one of the I think one of the biggest things I could definitely say about Barbecue is that I don't think he actually played any other hero besides Diva through the entirety of me watching him through Open Division. And that's how I knew Barbecue as well, from previous teams as well. I remember seeing him almost 1 year ago on that Diva, still looking fantastic with those Diva bomb placements. And we've seen even Overwatch League Divas take space, or you can even take Poco as well. Just really getting into the know to where those bombs can be played around. How long does it take for the jets to run out on the self-destruct sequence for it to be properly placed? But it was always set up by his team as well. One of the best things that you can tell visibly through the diva play in particular is that he was always in communication with the supports. All three of them at certain points as well, whether it was Zeon the Brigitte for the shield bash onto the Ryan to capitalize on a multitude of targets on different maps throughout this series in particular. I would just got to give it off. I mean, all around, just Barbecue's diva play has really been chiseled down from a fine amount of granite into this very nice mech that he commands around the battlefield today.
Nari, you said that you wanted to also look out for things that Fillion was doing on the side of Operation Spawn Camp. Did he quite live up to what you wanted in that last map?
Actually, I was quite surprised. Mouse swapped off onto that McCree, and it seemed like he was having a little bit of trouble dealing with Fillion on that Pharah. And I was really impressed with that because I think it had a lot to do with obviously the rest of the team creating that space, giving him the opportunity to just get those rockets off, which was awesome. I love that 100%. When you've got somebody like Mouse on your tail and you're surviving, that shows me some really good Pharah play. He had a couple of good barrages as well, a couple of questionable ones. But that's just par for the course for Pharah. Panda made a comment earlier. It's like Pharah's greatest, challenge. Can you get through your entire voice line of your ultimate without something like a Diva Matrix or a Zarya bubble or just that epic flank? It's really difficult to get those great barrages off, and we did see a couple of good ones. So overall, I feel like there's places that he can improve, but overall I was pretty impressed with what he did and what he did for his team.
I think all of the players on all of these teams have been so wonderful, and these are all going to be names that we're just going to be and more. Of course, massive congratulations to the grand final winners, Shoes Money Crew EU, but also to Operation Spawn Camp, HSL Esport, and Oshtec Warriors, who will be joining them in trials with the fight to get into Contenders EU. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here at Broadcast.gg, where we help amateur broadcasters get into esports. And we hope to see you in Open Division Season 4. But for now, it's on to trials. Thank you so much, everybody.